This Geely Starray EMI Inspire has about 5,000 Ks on it. A couple of additions that I've done are these little mud flaps, because the mud splatter that you get here used to be really bad coming up through here, and I was worried about paint damage. I've also put on the wind visor guards on each of the windows, all available from cheap online stops, and we've put in a light bar down here. But just note, if you're going to do that, you need a CAN bus connector, which is a couple $100 just to connect it into the system. I think I'm going to cop a bit of rain upon arriving. Oh, morning. I've just spent 10.5 hours in my Geely Starray on camping mode. Let me tell you about it. The place I stayed at last night is in a little town of Burra in the mid-north of South Australia, out the back of an old pub, which was a nice place for a feed last night. So I woke up at about 12:30 and noticed how quickly the power had been draining. Luckily, I had been put at a powered site in this campground, so I was able to plug in. But it was a lucky plug-in. The cord only just reached where I happened to park, so I didn't have to roll the car back a little bit at night to make it fit. You might ask why I got up at 12:30. Well, that's kind of normal at my age to maybe need to go to the toilet, especially after being at a pub for dinner. And it's then that I noticed, I'm not going to have enough power to get through the night, so I plugged this in. All I'd heard was some reviews online that you use about 5% of the battery to run the aircon all night on camping mode. Now, it's recharging at the moment, but by my calculations, I was using about 4.5% of the battery with the air conditioner running. So it had gone down 18% over 4.5 or so hours at that point, and I went, yeah, I don't want to be leaving here with a pretty flat battery in the morning to get to the next charging station, although I do still have a little bit of fuel left to get about 40 Ks worth before I fill up today. So a little bit of feedback on the night. The screens stay on. I can't work out how to turn the screens off, so even though you can put them on dark mode by saying hey Geely, put the screens on dark mode, and they go from the white background to the black background, but even the light of that white vehicle on there does increase the amount of light just shining through the car. In camping mode you can darken this screen, but that clock is still very bright of the night time. This is a little button up here to go on and off out of camping mode, and then to get out of the camping mode you simply exit down here to get out of there. I'm going to unplug the charger and get on with the morning. I should say though, one of the highlights for me though, sleeping in the swag in the back, was having the sky roof open and watching the moon move right across the sky during the evening. It was really nice. The clouds eased up at one point and there's a few stars up there, but you can't actually see the stars too well because of the light coming off the dashboard in the car, which I couldn't work out how to shut down. It was about 11 degrees outside overnight, so it's about 14 when I went to bed and dropped down to 11. All the windows were completely sealed, so I was in my own little zone, but I did have air on fresh, not recycling. I started with it set on 23.5 and I was a little warm, dropped it down to 21.5, and then thought, a little bit cold when I was up for the changeover at 12:30. So settled on 22.5, and it was quite comfortable. The car was unlocked. I didn't try locking the car whilst in camping mode from the inside. I imagine if you did that, you could still open the door from the inside if it was locked. That might be something else to investigate next time. As far as the next time goes, definitely. It's an easy way to do it, particularly if you get a light splatter of rain, as we did last night. For someone who loves sleeping in a swag, and I usually get my best night's sleep in a swag, just putting the swag in the back of the car and off we go. So easy, so easy. Yeah, if you're taller than 180 centimetres, it'll be a bit difficult because you'd either have to sleep at an angle, or if you move the front seats forwards, you're going to have to pad out the gap between the headrest of the seats in the back and the front seat backrest. just driven about 40 kilometres on pure EV within 10% of South Australia's 110 kilometre an hour speed zones, and I've used 71 kilometres of charge doing a 41 kilometre drive. So when you really open it up on EV mode, it doesn't perform that well. Perfect chance to charge up. Sitting here on a RAA fast charger used through the ChargeFox app, which seems to be pretty reliable. On the fast charger now, so off to breakfast. Another tip, if you didn't notice, when you're setting up, make sure you flip these headrests over and turn them upside down. Otherwise you get a triangular lump sticking up, whereas these form almost fairly flat. Another point worth noting is you do run out of space by filling up the whole back seat. So you do need to put a bit of luggage in the front. And there you go. I hope that information about camping mode in the Geely's been useful for you.